Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be answering the 6 most common questions that I get asked about grow lights. One thing I do want to mention though, before I start talking about grow lights, is the fact that plants do tend to go through a natural period of dormancy. And during this period of time, which typically occurs in winter, plants actually stop growing. So as long as your plants are happy and healthy in winter, if they're not growing, it's not that big of a deal because it's what the plant is actually doing in order to prepare for spring growth, is to take that time in winter to rest. So the most common question that I get asked is, Anna, are grow lights actually necessary for plants? And the short answer is that no, grow lights aren't necessary, but grow lights do help your plants to be happier and healthier, particularly when you're not getting, that would be my dog growling at my other dog. It happens. So yes, so plant lights are necessary if you do want to keep your plants happy and healthy and you aren't able to provide them with natural light on your own. And what grow lights do is they help to mimic the natural light that comes from the sun, and therefore they are very, very helpful for plants. So for example, I got grow lights because I have these absolutely gorgeous wall-to-wall northern facing windows that allow a lot of bright indirect light to come in. But because of the types of plants I have, such as certain tropicals and then the succulents and cacti, they actually need bright direct sun, and therefore I have grow lights to help supplement the natural sun that I don't actually get from these windows. Now, following up with that question, I also get asked too if plants can survive on their own with grow lights only, meaning if people are growing them in a particular part of their house, such as their basement, or if their bathroom doesn't have natural sunlight. And the answer for this is yes, plants definitely can survive on just grow lights alone. However, although grow lights do mimic the natural sun, they don't actually provide an exact 100% replication of the natural sunlight, and therefore plants will definitely survive, but they do appreciate having natural light as well. Now, another common question I get asked too is what type of grow lights are the best for your plants? And there are 3 things to look for when you are buying grow lights. 1, you want them to be a wide spectrum. And what this means is that it provides all of the light in an actual rainbow spectrum. And this means that the lights don't emit just that purple light or just that red or blue light that you've seen, but it provides a white light, because white is actually the combination of all colors combined. People typically think it's black, but black is actually the absence of light. Therefore, if you buy white wide spectrum lights, this means that your plant is getting the whole variety of spectrum of light, which is the closest equivalent that you can get to natural sunlight. Another important thing to think about is to get a high output light bulb. And what the high output does is it provides a lot of energy toward the plants. So instead of being this dull light, it is very, very focused on putting energy on the plants. It doesn't necessarily mean that the light's going to be blinding to you. Ideally, it's not going to be, but it means that it does provide a lot of energy to the plants. And following up with that, another thing that's really important is to get my dog's again, these two. Following up with that, you want to get light bulbs that are also energy efficient. And this is because of the fact that having high output bulbs give out a lot of energy, but you don't necessarily want a whole ton of energy going into your lights, because you don't want your your electrical bill to be incredibly high. So the 3 things to look for when buying a light bulb, or a grow light bulb, I should say, are you want them to be white emitting, wide spectrum, you want them to be high output, but you also want them to be energy efficient. And these are the 3 best things that I recommend when looking for grow lights. Another common question I get asked too is how long to have grow lights on for, and if I use the timer. And my grow lights typically get turned on at about 8 a.m. in the morning, and they run until about 10 p.m. at night. So although this is 14 hours, that time can fluctuate depending on when I wake up, when I go to bed, and if I actually remember. And one of the neat things about my grow light setup is that you've seen that it's the multiple shelves, and we have multiple light bulbs on each one. However, they're all connected into the same power source. So the one light connects into the other, and the other into the other, and the other. Therefore, when I turn my grow lights on, I just have to flip one switch in the morning and one switch at night, which is great. And now, although I do have a timer, I don't actually use it because it's an incredibly complex timer and the instructions were awful, and unfortunately Google didn't help either. But luckily, I'm fairly good about remembering when to turn it on and off. And although consistency is very important, the plants aren't going to care if you fluctuate by 45 minutes or an hour or even 2 hours. These dogs, guys, stop it. Now, the 5th most common question I get asked about grow lights is how many should people actually buy for all of their plants? And the thing is there isn't a specific response or answer to this question because it all depends on the grow lights and the amount of plants that you have. Now, grow lights will typically indicate on the box the actual space that they will provide the maximum amount of light for, and you can use that to determine how many grow lights you actually need. And although this does require a little bit of math, this is something like, please feel free to DM me or comment below and I can help you try to figure this one out. And where you put grow lights will depend on where you actually need them, first of all, but where you're willing to put them in your home. Not everyone loves to have grow lights out and about. Mine are in my living room, and then I have another one in the kitchen as well. And I have these placed particularly because it also maximizes the natural light that my plants will get, and therefore they get that combination of the really good quality grow lights, but also the natural light as well. Now, probably my favorite grow light question is this one, and that is, Anna, grow lights are so ugly. What can I do to make them look nicer? Well, there are a couple of things that I recommend for this. One, you can buy very aesthetically pleasing grow lights that come in very nice fixtures that either hang from the ceiling or they have floor mounts or they can mount onto shelves or something else that you have in your home. But these ones tend to be a little bit more expensive. However, they do blend in really well, particularly because they do use that white wide spectrum light. Therefore, it does just look like any other light that you have in your home. Now, another thing that you can do too is basically just live with it. Mine is a piece of furniture, our big giant grow light shelf. You don't even really notice it's there. Again, the lights just blend in. And I do like the way our shelf looks as well too. But because I am a huge plant person, I don't mind having plants everywhere, and therefore this is something that I absolutely love having around, and I'd have more if we had more room for it. I hope you found this video valuable, and if you have any further questions about grow lights, please feel free to DM me at plantannaplant on Instagram or comment below, and I will try to respond to them as quickly as possible. Bye! See my room?